Good morning. All eyes on Florida this morning as Milton gets ready to pounce. The latest on his monster hurricane coming up.
Connecticut stepping up to help people in Florida ahead of Hurricane Milton. I'm Angelo Bavar with more about the resources that are set to head down this morning.
Now at 6, we're learning more about a Bridgeport officer-involved shooting from this past weekend. New details are now out. I'll have more on that coming up next.
All local, all morning. This is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Good Wednesday morning. Thanks so much for joining us here at Fox 61 and Fox 61 Plus America Areas.
And I'm Keith McGilvery. Grateful you're here. We know so many in Connecticut have ties to Florida. Hurricane Milton threatening Florida right now as the track has shifted slightly at this point to the south. Want to get you a live look at the radar. As you see it behind us, we will take it full as well. Conditions in Sarasota and in Tampa. Meteorologist Matt Scott with deep roots in this region. You know storms well, Matt, and this is a significant one.
Yeah, you know, the worst part, I was thinking about it yesterday as I went to bed. I said the worst part about hurricanes is they're like car crashes. For a moment there you see it coming, but you can't stop it. And that's exactly what we're watching, the carnage slowly unfold over the next 24 hours as Milton gets closer and closer to the Gulf Coast of Florida. Right now, still at a Category 5 level. Now, that will weaken a little bit, but that's semantics. Even at a 4, even at a strong 3, this hurricane is going to do significant damage to just about all of the west coast of Florida, but primarily south of Tampa. As Keith mentioned a moment ago, the track over the last 24 hours, the last few runs, has pushed it ever so slightly down to the south. That's bad news for Sarasota, bad news for Cape Coral, Fort Myers, Naples, as we look for a life-threatening storm surge upwards of 10 to 15 feet. That is going to be absolutely catastrophic. The latest in terms of the statistics, 160 mile per hour winds moving to the northeast at 14 miles. You can see a very defined storm there. The eye has actually gotten a little smaller, a little weaker over the last few model runs as the hurricane hunters have flown into the storm. That's minor good news as the storm continues to weaken a little bit, but that barometric pressure is miserably low, and that is not going to be changing. So here's what we're looking for. Later on tonight, around 2 a.m., that's when we expect the eye of the storm to strike, but you will see the effects, and they will feel the effects of Milton long before that. And then the storm continues to track right through central Florida, Orlando, Daytona Beach, Melbourne, and a lot of the east coast of Florida feeling strong effects, even as the storm leaves the peninsula, looking at the potential of a Category 1 level. So weaker, but still a hurricane. Quick look at our forecast. We're okay. We have a couple of clouds in there, maybe a light shower. Temperatures in the 40s now, on the way up to the mid-60s, a little cooler than yesterday. Full details on the rest of the work week and the latest all morning long on Milton coming up. Let's check traffic right now at 6:03. Good morning, Rachel Piscatelli.
Hey, good morning, Matt. Overall looking good. We have road work that is clearing this morning here on Route 8 over in Naugatuck. Earlier slowdowns have cleared for the morning commute. Volume starting to become a little bit heavier than about 5 o'clock hour. So just be mindful that there could be some slowdowns, but otherwise road work clears at this hour. Bruce Seymour to Shelton is 6 minutes, Route 8 South, Waterbury 25 to 18, a 4-minute drive, both directions. Back to you.
All right, Rachel, thank you for that. I want to get back to our Milton coverage this morning. People along the Florida coast between Tampa and Fort Myers preparing for Hurricane Milton. Much of that area still cleaning up damage, Erica, from Helene.
Yeah, businesses in Bradenton are boarding up as they prepare for the worst. Now, crews are also racing against the clock to remove debris that could become dangerous projectiles. A woman in Clearwater says that her family, well, they're leaving their home. She shares one of her biggest fears.
Everything, losing everything, not having a house to come back to. We're just trying to clear as much as we can out and just pray for the best.
I feel for them.
Oh, an awful situation here 105 miles away from Clearwater Beach. Disney is shutting down its theme parks in Orlando ahead of the storm. Disney World, Universal, and SeaWorld will all be closed today. Halloween Horror Nights at Universal also canceled for tonight and tomorrow. Orlando International Airport expected to close in less than 2 hours. Incredible ties from Connecticut to the region this morning. Connecticut organizations stepping up to help people in the path of Hurricane Milton.
Fox 61's Angela Bavaro is joining us live right outside the American Red Cross headquarters in Farmington with more on how they're trying to help.
Erica, Keith, good morning. And this is where a Red Cross emergency response vehicle is set to leave this morning, heading down to Florida to help people in those areas expected to get hit hard by this storm. Now, these vehicles are full of different supplies, helping to mobilize supplies, everything from ready-to-go meals as well as water and snacks, cleanup kits, and a lot more. And this effort comes as disaster teams are still helping those families and communities hit hard by Hurricane Helene. Now, since September 23rd, the Red Cross Connecticut and Rhode Island region has deployed more than 50 volunteers and 4 emergency response vehicles to support those disaster relief efforts in the Southeast. Stanford-based AmeriCares, which focuses on health relief, is also ready to respond in the aftermath of Milton. That organization's emergency response team is reaching out to 110 partner clinics in the path of this storm in Florida to offer help. That help will come in the form of deploying response teams, delivering shipments of hygiene kits, antibiotics, and relief supplies, and also providing emergency funding to help repair damaged health facilities and restore health services. And these are just 2 efforts of many that we have seen here in Connecticut to help people down south, including several donation drives.
I have a nephew that has a house in North Carolina, but he's okay, he's lucky. And I have a niece up from Naples, and they're going to get hit. So I said, you know, we have the funds, let's share a little bit.
Just imagine waking up tomorrow morning and have everything gone. Everything from a toothbrush to a blanket to a pillow. And we have, I mean, there's everything in that truck.
And what you're looking at, this is video from a hurricane relief drive that is happening at Ron's Guns in East Lyme, part of a bigger effort by shoreline businesses to send resources down to North Carolina. Several of those trailers full of supplies on the shoreline, those are set to leave tomorrow morning to head down and help those people in those affected neighborhoods. We're live in Farmington this morning. I'm Angelo Bavaro, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
All right, of course, we will cover this throughout the morning. Angelo, appreciate that. 6:08 now, the Inspector General's office released its initial report as well as body camera video from an officer-involved shooting in Bridgeport from over the weekend.
Police shot a man after he stabbed an officer with a knife. Fox 61's Brooke Griffin is live at Bridgeport Police Department with a look at the video and the latest on this case. Brooke, the good thing here, that officer's just fine. She's going to be okay.
Yeah, absolutely. So the good thing, like you said, the officer was taken to the hospital, but actually released pretty quickly. So she will be okay. She is expected to recover from those injuries. But we do know so far that this actually started out as a mental health call originally. And then within minutes of those officers arriving to that home, the situation turned pretty violent. Now, I do want to warn you before we show up the video, it is a little bit difficult to watch. This all happened around 1 o'clock on Saturday morning. That's when 4 Bridgeport officers were sent to a home over on Terry Place in Bridgeport. One of them was Officer Marie Setti. During the call, you can see that the officers are standing on the front porch of the home trying to speak to 45-year-old Huntley Jackson. The person who called 911 said that he was having a mental health crisis at the time. After a few minutes, Jackson shuts the door, locks it, and then turns his back to those officers. Another person then comes up beside him, eventually unlocking the door. This is when Jackson lunges at Officer Setti with a knife. She's hit and is seemingly knocked off the porch or at least pretty far back. Investigators say that she was cut in the head, neck, and shoulder, but is expected to be okay. Officer Jesse Jimenez fired 2 shots at Jackson as soon as he stepped onto the porch, hitting him twice in the torso. In the video, you can see that he's still holding the knife while lying on the ground. Police say that he's in the hospital in guarded but stable condition. Jackson is currently being held on a $750,000 bond for attempting to commit murder, assault, and assaulting an officer. And we do expect to hear from Bridgeport Police on these new details later this morning. As soon as we have any other information about this case and where it goes from here, we'll have that out to you. Live in Bridgeport, Brooke Griffin, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.